So, welcome back, Mel. This is probably our third interview, all in
Yeah, thank
all.
you.
And I love having you on because we are going to share your journey from when you first signed up to the course, which was an unbelievable 6 years ago.
Yeah,
Both can't
crazy.
believe that. To where you are now, because it's really important for people, aspiring coaches. One of their biggest concerns is, can I actually make it? Can I
Yeah.
actually make money? Can I make it as a career? There's that level of, it sounds great. The skills will be great, the transformation, the personal transformation,
hmm
but what can I actually
hmm
do
hmm
towards leading a career with
Yeah.
it? So I'm going to get you on all of the students as well, and just to share your story. So just tell everybody where you are, a little bit about yourself, and what you're actually doing now.
Yeah. So I took the course as the Master Life Coach and Energy Psychologist, and it was such an important journey for me to start there. And I think for a lot of coaches, it is so important. I didn't really take the journey of being a spiritual coach to actually be a spiritual coach. I was more of like, if I wanted to help somebody out, what would I want to be? Probably a life coach, right? But I had to understand that I had to fix what was in me, and I think a lot of coaches skip that. They become a coach, but they don't really do the internal work. And I feel like when I joined your course, it really gave me a lot of momentum of understanding what was going on inside and where I was in life. So in a corporate job, for 20 some years, right? Working 40, 50 hours a week, I was like, there needs to be more than life than this. And that's exactly why I did that. But that transformed me into thinking like, if I was to serve my passion and not work a corporate job, what would I want to build? And that really put me in the direction of starting to do career and life coaching. But that moved into business coaching and career coaching very fast. But I took all the things from the course of, learning your inner scripts. I
Yeah.
still use a visualization today. That is the
Yes.
biggest thing in the inner scripts and the forgiveness letters. And I built this, went full time like a year and a half later, built this company and put in the strategy you gave me and the mindset. And then I started helping people like more and more and more. And again, I built my first six figures in my business, right? But it
Amazing.
was like really starting at, I think what people need to understand is the core is to work on you first, to
Yeah.
know who you are,
Yeah.
how you want to show up. It's not to try to heal people and heal yourself through people.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of coaches today, because I coach a lot of coaches, they really get stuck on. But yeah, so 6 years later, I mean, I work 30 hours a week.
Yeah.
I make the same money I was making my 23-year job.
Oh
And
my God, that's
I
amazing.
absolutely love it. And I love to see the transformation in my clients.
That is
It's
so cool. I'm so pleased for you to say that. So yeah, 6 years, it seems like a long time, but it feels so short.
it's so short.
Yeah, so it was actually COVID when you first joined the course, and I remember our call, and I remember you told me about a story, you'd been to see I think maybe a tarot reading or a psychic mystic
Yeah.
kind of like spark something in you, and that was a bit of a catalytic conversation. And then you
Yeah.
found Soul Awakening Academy, we had the call, and then you joined.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and I hear this time and time and time again when I do calls for people who want to enroll, they
hmm
all say they found Soul Awakening Academy in such a weird way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, some of the stories I've heard are quite unbelievable, but absolutely true because I
Yeah.
believe the people telling me. But they find us in such a weird way, and it's like they've made this kind of energetic
Mm.
command to the universe, like, right, I'm ready. Just kind of show me the
Yep.
next step. And then they
Yeah.
find us. How did you find us? Was there any weirdness to the way that you found?
Oh, well, let me tell you, it was a manifestation. Before I found you, I was in a 7 week manifestation course that I invested in. Okay.
Right.
And we created like what would life be? And we had our like dream, like vision boards. And then the instructor said, do you want to manifest what you want now? We're like, yeah, we want to manifest. And he said, okay, great. Heal your inner child. And I was like, ugh, traumatized. I was like, no. And so that gave me the aha moment of like, oh my gosh, everybody has an old storyline about subconscious programming that is stopping them from getting love, getting money, getting success. And so when I decided to go to life coaching, I mean, I'm not in the UK, okay? So I was like, there's a thousand different programs I could have like been in. And I sat there and I literally sat there and I said, universe, send me one that does healing, energy healing, trauma healing, mindset, and life coaching. And yours popped up 20 minutes later.
No. Oh my God, I love that. That's
And then I
so
got in the call with you for that consultation. Yeah. Within like what, the next day? Yeah.
yeah. Oh
And
my
then it was
God.
enrolled. That's how it happened. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. I'm so glad I asked you that question.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to ask you questions that I don't think I've asked you before, just for because people will watch your previous interviews.
Yeah.
So one of the questions, because I hear it often, is that people feel they have a calling. It's an itch
Hmm.
inside. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe whatever people's beliefs are, they get to a point in their
Hmm.
job and they're like, there has to be more. And
Yeah.
they feel this calling, and it's a calling to serve other
Yeah.
people in some way. Do you feel that you had this calling inside that if you hadn't, if what would like life have looked like had you not have listened and taken action towards your calling, do you think?
Well, I would still be in my 20 some year old job and
Yeah.
not happy. I
Uh,
think when COVID hit, it was a big awakening for a lot of people that my stability and what I think is gonna keep me stable is not stable anymore. I was really lucky that I was one of the people in my job that still had full time. People were pushed to part time, and I was like, keep me full time. But I also sat there in the moment of being hunkered down by myself, and I said, there has to be more to life than this. And that, boom, it's like the universe said, there it is. There's our opening. And then all this stuff started happening to me about transformation, looking at little videos, starting with Reiki and energy. I even took a tarot course. I was taking all these courses before I took the life coaching course. And I said, there has to be something more than this. And I think when people have that epiphany, it's your higher self talking to you like you're supposed to do something else other than your mundane. Now, I was making six figures in my job. I was kosher. I was like, I had life going for me.
Yeah.
But inside, internally, I felt like I was missing something. And that's the calling. And that's where you let that calling guide you because that's opening to you doing something for humanity, for the light workers in the world.
Absolutely. I love that. And that reminds me of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's
Hmm.
like, you've met your security needs,
Yeah.
you're moving up. And the top of his hierarchy of needs is that spiritual
Hmm.
actualization. And
Yeah.
that actually you find the most fulfillment when you live your purpose. And that purpose is normally serving or
Yeah.
helping humanity in some way.
Hmm.
So I love the fact that even though because this is where so many people make a choice to stay is
Hmm.
through the financial.
Yeah.
I can't, I'll be stupid to leave here. Why
Yeah.
would I want to change it? Yeah, I don't really like it, but I can live with it. So they
Hmm.
sacrifice their kind of sole purpose and what will
Hmm.
actually give them the greatest fulfillment
Right.
ever that their soul is actually yearning to
Yeah.
feel. And they
Yeah.
sacrifice that for the security that they
Hmm.
feel, the safety that they feel, which is a false sense of security
Right. Right.
in the mundane, in the daily grind, because, for whatever reasons, they've been conditioned. This is what you do. You get a good job, you stay there. But
Yeah.
it'd be interesting, one of the exercises on the courses. Imagine, the rocking chair exercise. Imagine you've reached your 100th
Hmm.
birthday and all your family are around you.
Yeah.
What are they saying about you? How do you want your legacy to
Yeah.
be known?
Yeah.
Um, and it's really tapping into that, like seeing your life as a crossroads.
Hmm.
If I stay down this path, what
Yeah.
does life look like in 20, 30 years?
Hmm.
And if I go that down this path, although it's unknown, what might look life look like in
Yeah.
20? That he is.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that was one of the things when I told my family, I said, hey, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to coach full time. My dad was the first one with that programming going, why would you do that? Like, why would you leave something that's so stable? I said, because I believe my passion equals abundance. And it's something
Yeah.
like you really just have to like be 100% like in that energy. So again, that's manifestation because I teach a lot of law of attraction in my courses. And it's really getting aligned with what your vision is and then creating the steps to create that vision. And then you work on that fear. Like, well, what is keeping me stuck? And but that's the whole process of your course, right?
Yeah.
Is to understand, is to give that inner child who's locked in the closet the ability to do something else. But that's why people are pulled to your course. Do you see what I
Yeah,
mean? It's just like
exactly.
there's
I
like
love,
a spiritual awakening that needs to happen.
yeah, I love that. Like your my passion equals abundance. I think that is
Yeah.
such a good phrase and statement to live by. And you really do kind of you epitomize that to me every time I speak to you. You're so energetic. You're so in the zone with what you do. You really do
Thank you.
walk, talk, live,
Yeah.
breathe, everything that you do. So another question about the transformation. So looking back now, how has becoming a certified master spiritual life coach changed your life personally and professionally and in the way that you see yourself?
Yeah. Well, personally, I am more of a medium than I was. I'm very clairvoyant and very clairaudient. And let me
Cool.
tell you, like, there's gifts that have opened me up that I knew I had as a child,
Yeah.
but opening that up, I get lots of downloads. I have people that have passed come into our sessions. Like, sometimes I'm like, what is going on right
Oh,
now? But I also
wow.
think it's amazing. But it's also helped me to understand that I can change my life as far as not doing what the normal is, what society tells you to do, and doing something else and like living it too. Of, even if I coach my clients, I need to. And, there's roller coaster rides in entrepreneurship. I'm not going to lie. Like, you need to be very consistent, but it's having awareness and compassion for yourself where we think that we have to have everything perfect. So I
Yeah.
think it's like me giving that compassion, like it's okay if you didn't make the money that you wanted to make this month because next month you're gonna have, I remember one month where, because I'm like paying my own bills and I live in a bougie area. And I
Mhm.
remember that I had one low month and I was like, well, that's not gonna work, right? Like whatever it is. And then the next month, I booked $25,000 in sales. Do you see what I mean? So it's really learning how to stay committed to the process, but also have compassion when you have those fears and work through those fears. So personally, it's really keeping that vibration where you want to keep it, but also realizing that you're a spiritual being having a human experience
Yeah.
and human things happen. That's the
Exactly.
personal side. And on
Yeah.
the professional side, it's like I'm never going back to corporate. Like that is
Amen.
that's never going to happen. Being this is my first entrepreneurship job, it's taken some work. And I'm not gonna lie, like it doesn't take work. Like you get out of your course and everything magically happens. I was very fortunate that everything started to land in my lap as far as opening my business, people helping me. I mean, I even said, if you want me to do this, I said, the universe, I said, you need to put six figures in my salary so I can start saving some months. That happened within less than 30 days. The president called me and said, would you like to make six figures? I said, absolutely. So it's almost like when you ask for things, as things start to align, you need to start taking action forward. But, I've coached over 100 people in almost 6 years.
Yeah,
I like, and that's without ads, that's without like email, like funnels or anything. That literally is posting online and
that's
people
amazing.
coming to me. So I feel like people need to understand that everything is possible, but you have to be in that belief system. So that inner child storyline is so important to really understand what she or he is holding you back from doing and to shift them to this new storyline you want to create and then you be the leader. And then there's going to be times where that inner child wants to run back, but if you know your inner scripts,
Mm.
if you know it's holding your back, you can reshift. And I think that's what I've learned is to reshift out of challenges faster and faster and faster.
Mm. Yeah, I like that. And it's true, it's not easy making the transition.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the life coaching industry has been glamorized
Yes.
by, make this money and you think it's going to
Yeah.
happen overnight. And running any business takes time, dedication, and
Yes,
motivation.
it
So the
does.
students I'm speaking with, such as yourself, some of them have finished 2 years ago, 6 years ago.
Mhm.
Um, and they're all at different stages, and it's so important to know that you just have to be so passionate about what you want to do,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that calling isn't just something you can go, oh well, it was a nice idea, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
calling, when you know it's a real calling, it will
Yeah.
not let you let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to put it
Exactly.
away and not listen to it and not act on it will actually, I don't know. For me, anyway, I'm probably speaking from my own more personal experience. To have not taken the leap myself
Mhm.
from, a well-paid job at the time to
Yeah.
becoming a healer, is, the route I wanted to go down. Had I not wanted it so, so much and could not switch off from it, if
Mm-hmm.
I'd have ignored it, I just would have felt like I was a walking zombie, really,
Yeah.
the rat race of
Mm-hmm.
game of
Mm-hmm.
life, not
Mm-hmm.
really living.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not easy setting up in business. You have your
No, it's
pitfalls,
not.
you have your highs, your lows. I'm still like, your business is still a roller coaster. Some
Yeah.
months,
Yeah.
it's good, some months it's not so good. And you just have to
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
faith
Yeah.
is always
Yeah.
gonna, it's always gonna come in.
And I always say, like, when you invest in yourself, so when I coach business owners and they're just like, I'm scared to invest in you, I'm scared to do that high ticket. I said, when you invest in yourself, it's not just for the business, it's for the healing. And when you do the healing, you're literally going to get gifted the generous gifts. And I have people that, are making money just by one session with me
Yeah.
because we're really working on that mindset and getting clear of like, wow, I think I could have that. And working on that energy, the energy centers of really calming that state because you can't create anything out of chaos in a chaotic state. You're creating, you're creating off of your calmness.
Yeah.
And, entrepreneurship is also knowing your limits if you need extra help. So I did invest in some business coaching because I
Yeah.
was just like, I'll take what I learned to be a life coach, but I may need to learn about business and I don't have that. So it's really knowing your limits of what is your capacity of what you can learn through books online or whatever you learn. Do you need someone to do that? And that's why I became a business coach because I went to business courses and they completely sucked. They gave you good information,
Yeah.
you watched a lot of videos, but the mindset is 90% of your business and
Yes.
your belief system. And if you're not aligned there, then what happens is you're not aligned with making that money either because people focus on the money. I say it's like an Oreo cookie. You're life coach, here's the money. Now people are saying, I will be a life coach to make the money. Mm-mm.
Mhm.
You're a life coach to serve, and your serving is the bonus of the money.
Yeah.
And so when you focus on the service instead of running after money, then money stops running away from you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. And it is definitely about your energetic state. I know a lot of people kind of can go, about that. And even me at times when I've been stressed, go, it's
Yeah.
not about my energy.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm so
exactly.
stressed and frazzled.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
me. It's
yeah,
something
yeah.
else. And ads not working or whatever. It's like, yeah, no, just absolutely every time I stop and I get centered and I
Mhm.
just say what I need,
Yeah, yeah.
verbalize vibrationally what I need,
Hmm.
it comes in. So
Yeah,
it's just the
yeah.
way that the like energy
State of
works.
surrender. State of
Yeah.
surrender and knowing you're worthy. I mean, it's so weird. When I say it like the most times, like, I don't care anymore. I'm so tired. I'm so stressed. I'm walking away. Then boom, I get a call. That happened just to me. The last holiday, it was a Memorial Day. I was like, it was like the end of the month, and I was like, why am I not getting clients? I'm like, this is crazy. And I was like so stressed. I was giving complimentary calls away,
Yeah.
and people were ghosting me. And I
Yeah.
was like, if this last person doesn't come, I'm over it. And the last person didn't come. And I said, I'm over it. I'm walking away. Well, I went to my parents that day, and it was Memorial Day was like the last day of the month or like close to it. And I said, I'm going to my parents. I'm just going to hang out, helping my mom do some gardening or whatever. And I said, I don't even care anymore about this business. I'm over it. Right.
Yeah.
And then a DM came on TikTok. She goes, I need to do a session with you. I was like, okay. And I was like, well, I have a Monday, which is a day off for me, but I'll just leave it open.
Yeah.
It wound up being a $7,000 sale.
Oh, amazing.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But
I
I
get
had to
that.
let go. I was like, I'm over it. Like, I'm over it.
Yeah,
I was like, donezo. But that's the part
exactly.
of surrender. You're just like,
Yeah.
kind of, if you are a spiritual being, you kind of leave it to God, the universe to take care of. But then you're not like looking for it and chasing it. You're like, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
And
mode. Yeah.
it's true. We all experience those days. So when I get on calls with aspiring coaches and they say, "Can I make money? Can I make, about business?" And I'm like, "Look, this is not easy. It is
Yeah.
not easy setting
No.
up selling apples and oranges on a market stall
Yeah.
with passing trade. It's not easy running your
Yeah.
own business. So are you prepared to put the effort in? Because there's days where you want to give up. There's been so many days where
Yes.
I've said, do you know what? I like you. You know what? No, I can't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, it just happens like that. But
Yeah.
that's life,
Yeah.
isn't it? In
Yeah. It
relationships and
is.
different areas of our life, we're always like up and then we're down and then we're all
Yeah.
right. So we've got to go
Yeah.
with it.
And the entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs now that do are successful, they are very successful, but they started somewhere and they had the same challenges. And we don't
Constantly.
see those challenges online. No one says like, "Hi, by the way, I didn't sign any clients this month. That sucked."
Yeah.
People are just like, "I made $40,000." And I think like for people that get triggered by that, there is a lot that can trigger you, but you can also have that at the same time, but you're going to have your own storyline.
Yeah.
And I think people need to give compassion. Everyone has their own storyline.
Mhm.
You may not be an overnight miracle like the rest of them, but some of those overnight miracle people are also not overnight miracle people now. Do you see what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
everyone has their own journey.
Yeah. I was speaking with a coach the other day. And we were having a conversation. I said, "Listen, you need to reflect back over the last few years. You're doing so well. I see you online. You're getting attention. Your story's getting out there. You're doing really well."
Yeah.
And they thanked me for the reminder to thank themselves. I mean, appreciate themselves for how far they
Yeah.
come in
Yeah.
such a short space of time, but they still felt they hadn't made it fully yet. And I'm like, that is not true. You are
Yeah.
making it now.
Yeah.
So being grateful for the whole
Yeah.
process, not just the end goal, whatever that
Gratitude.
might look. Because the
Yeah.
goalposts, we always move the goalposts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
last question is about the possibility. If someone watching this feels called to become a spiritual life coach but's questioning whether they're ready, what would you want them to know?
I would want them to know, like, if something's calling and pulling you, it means that you need to take action. So, say for example, if I took what, like I did, took your course, it's not that you have to be a life coach right away if you're not ready. It's to get prepared internally for that journey. And the only way you can do that is to take steps to start doing that. Does that make sense? Is
Absolutely.
to like, and this is where self-sabotage comes in.
Hmm.
Because when you're in a calling, your old self says, we don't know how that's going to play out. So, do we really want to do it? And your higher self says, but what if it does work out? Do you see what I mean? So, you have to be, that's your inner child screaming, like, stay in the closet, we're good. And your higher self is like, but I want something different. So, think outside of the box because what you really desire is not in your safety zone with that inner child. What you desire is outside of the box.
I love that. So true. What a beautiful message to finish on, Mel. I always love speaking to you. You inspire me. You get me so
Thank you.
motivated. You really, really do.
Yeah, thank
Where
you.
can people find you if they wanted to
Yeah.
reach out or work with you? Where can people
Yeah.
find you?
You can find me on Facebook under Mel Acob, ACOB. You can find me on Instagram for Soul Vibe underscore Energy High. That will give you, I have digital courses out. I have so many manifestation videos, but we're like here to raise humanity. And if even if it's just someone that comes across my page going, that post inspired me, I would love to be connected to you.
Yeah, so go and give Mel a like, a follow, and a share with her work because she is absolutely smashing it. I'm so happy that you chose Soul Awakening Academy.
I am
Um,
too. Yeah.
yeah,
Big journey. And I can tell you what I learned in that course is always going to be part of my life coaching. Yeah.
that's so lovely. I'm so honored to have been a catalyst in this for you, Mel.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and thank you for your
Appreciate you.
interview today.
Yeah, you're
Lots of love
welcome.
to you as always.
Okay,
Have a
bye.
great day, Mel. Take care. Lots of love.